Thank you, Graham. Welcome to Galway for this round 7 fixture of the BKT United Rugby Championship. Two sides who are separated by a point on the table. Connacht find themselves 9 changes, 2 positional switches from the side that started in their victory over Dragons in round 6. New front row, Dave Heffernan returns from Ireland duty, finds himself between Denis Buckley and Jack Aungier. Josh Murphy returns from suspension to make up a new back row alongside Conor Oliver and Sean Jansen. Ben Murphy, Jack Carty started at 9 and 10. Piers O'Conor and Cathal Forde form a new centre partnership and positional switches as well. Jennings starts at fullback. Jordan Duggan is set to make his 50th appearance off the bench, which has a 6-2 forward split. The Vodacom Bulls have made 8 changes, 3 positional switches as well from the side that started in their win over Benetton in round 6. Van der Merwe and François Klopper make their way into the front row. Ruan Vermaak returns at lock. Cobus Wiese starts at flank after wearing 4 in round 6. While Mpilo Gumede starts at 8. In the back line, Joyce is at fly half for the first time this campaign after recovering from that broken nose sustained in September. Harold Forster wears 12. David Creel switches to outside centre. Caolin Moody's on the right wing, and Sebastian de Klerk starts on the left wing. Willie Leroux returns at fullback. Jake White has opted for a 5-3 forward split on the bench. That includes a returning Jannes Kirsten as well, plus 3 Springboks who started last week's win over Wales in Robert Steenkamp and Cameron Hornicom, who made his international debut. Plenty to look forward to in the BKT United Rugby Championship, and round 7 certainly has dished up a few wonderful surprises already. Glasgow edging Scarlet 17-15, Leinster winning 27-20 at Ulster, and the Sharks beating the Stormers only a handful of minutes ago 21-15 to claim successive wins over the 3 URC champions after Glasgow, Munster and now the Stormers just moments ago. The Bulls wearing white tonight rather than their familiar sky blue make their way towards the pitch. That's an opportunity for Connacht to potentially claim a 4th victory of the campaign. 3 wins and 3 losses in their opening fixtures of this United Rugby Championship campaign. Up against a Bulls side, though, who've only lost 1 from their 5 matches. They've won 4, although it was a very, very slippery slope in their last fixture against Benetton. The last-minute traditional light show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday night at the home of rugby, we're at the Dexcom Stadium. This is
Joyce is the man who leads out this side. Delighted to say that he's being led out by young mascot Dan Fitzgerald, only 8 years old. His favourite player, Bundy Aki, who is on international duty with Ireland earlier today, who snuck victory over Australia as Ireland celebrate 150 years of Irish rugby. 22-19, the win that concludes the Autumn Nations Series internationals. The action will not be the same without the match officials. Mike Adamson, the 40-year-old former Scotland Sevens international, takes charge of an 87th league fixture today. The man from Stirling is the man in the middle. David Sutherland is 4th official, and Johnny Erskine and Paul Haycock are the 2 assistants. Couple of front rows will be looking to get into the action.
Bills.
As the Westerners face the herd, it's an opportunity for Connacht Rugby and Vodacom Bulls to claim points in the United Rugby Championship. Round 7 getting underway for these sides. Willie Leroux finds himself much talked about in the build-up to this fixture. How will he perform as he returns to the starting lineup for the Bulls? We're underway. The visiting Bulls wearing white today rather than blue, and Connacht in their traditional green. Semi-finalists a couple of seasons ago up against last year's runners-up, the Vodacom Bulls. I'm delighted to say alongside me, former Ireland and Leinster hooker James Tracy. And James, immediate impressions ahead of the start of this fixture for you?
Yeah, it looks like the wind's howling a little bit, so Connacht are going to use that to their advantage. The Bulls have one of the worst lineouts in the league so far, and Connacht's lineout defence is probably a big strength of theirs, with Niall Murray and Josh Murphy being a big part of that. And looking forward to seeing what Josh Murphy can bring around the contact area. Haven't played with the guy, I know he can put in a few shots, so looking forward to seeing him going off the line.
You'd be familiar with a good handful of players in this Connacht lineup. Certainly, and trouble in the line-out in the first lineup as Dave Heffernan can't find his jumper, and the Bulls look to push forward through Marcell Coetzee, who is the captain's armband for the visiting side today. Little carry here from Ruan Vermaak, mid-20s, the man from Roodepoort, who made his way into the Bulls lineup after playing in Japan for a little while. Bulls inside Connacht territory. Take this ball up to the 10-metre line. Papier switches sides out to his captain Coetzee. Looks for another carry. Clean Moody. Quick hands out towards Gumede. He's not the biggest of players, but he's certainly very mobile. Moody, a little break, gets not quite through the tackle, but gains a couple of metres into the 22. The Bulls go again.
Onside.
Both these sides are relatively quick starters in their respective fixtures. Willy Leroux, it's ball to boot, and that's a lovely little pick-up out on the wing. Sebastian de Klerk take it into touch, though. And certainly, despite the relatively windy conditions, this Bull side look like they are going to play their own expansive attacking game.
5 minutes.
With them at the tail end of the season and during the summer, is it just his ability to put it right on the money? It's such an asset to have in a team.
This side, right over the top from Heffernan, Connacht managed to bring it under control.
No, it's not out. Didn't go beyond the back foot.
Within 5 metres of their own touchline.
Hold in front.
Is hoofed to safety. It's a brilliant kick. It's just a phenomenal touch finder.
Yeah.
So well over 50 metres.
Connacht on the line, it's inside Bulls half. Bulls, how many? How many? 5 man.
The call from the Bulls, Mike Adamson. This Bulls side to have a couple of players missing through injury as Cathal Forde prepares to.
That's a 6 man, your 9's at the front.
First throw.
Yes, you've got time to adjust if you want 6.
And I suppose
Do you want
most
6?
notably,
You're happy with 5?
the Bulls are needing to adjust to life without Kurtley Arendse, who
if you put your 9 at the front, that's a 6 man,
in the
okay?
international window.
6 man.
The man who scored 4 tries, joint leading scorer in this competition. Through 5 matches this campaign for the Bulls.
1 stop.
To carry this ball into Connacht territory on the halfway line now. Papier quickly again looking to use the back line. Plenty of speed and ability. Initially Harold Forster with the carry. The Krill always wants to get involved.
Advantage, 7 off.
Protects the ball. Papier.
Advantage.
Glorious looking run into that 22. Wilson back in the starting lineup today. Quick hands from Leroux out towards Krill. Takes it into the tackle. Solid defence, and structurally Connacht looking really disciplined in the early minutes.
Don't hold them. You're slowing your own ball down.
Papier. Going through the phases.
No advantage.
Being knocked back is Harold Forster. Referee says no advantage, so we'll come back for the penalty to the Bulls.
Okay.
Connacht's
Number 7 off feet,
tackling just doesn't seem to be quite on it yet. If you've noticed, the Bulls have made every time they've gotten possession, they've been able to pick a lot of yards.
Number 7 off feet.
It's going to be a long night if they're not getting those first up shots. It's getting the foot in close and actually making a decent hit. Getting a second man in, maybe to help you out, especially against these big South African guys.
Connacht on the edge.
Some really great running. There's some big lads in the back line, but I tell you what, some of the forwards have got some motors as well, including Cathal Forde, whose brother Duan is more renowned for his speed, though. The Scotland international, having during this Autumn Nations series just gone by, become Scotland's all-time leading try scorer.
Space.
You can see the resemblance between Duan and Cathal.
Keep the space.
Forde starting ahead of for today's fixture.
1 stop. Okay, shoulders off. 5 back round.
Papier, oh, he's certainly got an eye for the gap. Looks towards the corner, lays it out to de Klerk, who goes over, and the Bulls have the early try. Well, certainly both these sides rather adept at scoring early. It's the Bulls, though, that have gone over for the first score of this game.
Connacht committing a cardinal lineouts in there. They'd sat deep with 2 really tight pods to give the Bulls the front. In fairness to the Bulls, they backed themselves. They won it in between those 2 Connacht pods. And it just leaves you no chance to defend them all. And you're just chasing shadows after that. And you just got to back yourself to make sure you get a full lift, a full jump, and commit to it. And they would have stolen the ball, but when your indecision comes into it, you leave yourself open, and you're just chasing shadows then.
So Joyce, first opportunity to Trying to add points off the boot. Just a few drops of rain starting to fall. Person from way out wide. That's got plenty of bend on it. Has boomeranged its way over. Just a look at that little break. He's certainly got an eye for a gap as Ambrose Papir, little layoff to declare after feeding the initial tackle.
Number 10, John Goosen. The Bull 7, Connacht 0.
Listen, with a successful conversion, the visiting side built a platform from which they hope to build. Jennings takes it into the tackle, brought down by Tshakweni. And again, the arm up for the Bulls.
Just on the 5. On the 5. Holding on. Mark's just on the 5. Lads, just line at the line out, just don't close your own gap. Yeah. The gap's closing, but I don't think they're closing. I think you're coming in.
Cobus Wiese.
Lads, yeah.
Really strong.
Open up. Keep the gap open.
Really with that initial hit on Jennings.
6 man, 6. Six man, yeah. Yeah, no ball, no ball. Just get your timing right, running off the back, yeah. Thank you.
This time going the way of Aungier. The ball down from Alvin meets it. He's there. Certainly the Bulls have brought a very attacking game to Connacht. Absolutely rocked out of the starting blocks in this fixture.
Onside.
Just a little kick over the top. It'll bounce kindly for Leroux. Lays it off. Wiese. Somebody who's starting at flank today. First time since the Stormers years as he's starting at flank. Usually playing in the lock position. Today occupied by Vermaak and Van Heerden. All worked away very nicely by O'Conor.
The Bulls have actually had a pretty clever way of getting around the wind with their line-out, so they're putting the 9 at the front of the line-out, which means the opposition prop has to respect him and turn around, or else it's just free ball. But it also means that opposition prop can't lift, which has given the Bulls the ability to win it easily at the front when they need it. Connacht probably need to maybe just gamble and leave that 9 at the front, because it's not great ball to have. I know it's early on in the game, but Bulls are kind of building into this, and they need to kind of change it up. You see him here again at the front.
If you close the gap, I can look at them.
You know, sometimes I like to see just gambling a little bit, and Buckley kind of turn at the last second and maybe lifting Murray and getting up at the front and stealing the ball.
Long ball.
Outside arm.
It has drifted, shall we say, the Bulls' way.
Scrum.
And that's why you don't want to throw to the tail in Galway. I can tell you from experience, it is it's about a foot and a half of a win by the time it gets to the 15.
Nice patience, control the hit.
So.
Good stability.
For the Bulls, can actually guarantee that.
Okay, lads, control.
You're looking at nearly 2 tons. It's coming down.
Crouch. Bind. To be honest, okay, I didn't see many issues. Don't stand up. Let's go, lads.
Denis Buckley just having a quiet word.
Good binds, good binds.
Strap left hand.
Good binds on the back, nice and long.
Denis Buckley starts alongside Heffernan and Aungier. Front row for this Connacht side.
Crouch. Bind. Okay. Okay. Just a bit more space. I think on the crouch we're already loading through the head. More space.
Certainly
Space on the crouch.
a fearsome element to the, or many of
Try
the
and
South
get a bit
African
longer and
side's front
over.
rows.
Yeah.
And certainly the Dexcom
I'm
Bulls,
not
while they
seeing
haven't
many issues,
necessarily
but I
started
think
with
there's a
their
long way
Springbok
across on the line. Let's go,
players.
Let's go.
The likes of Carty
Let's go.
Steenkamp sitting on the bench, François Klopper
Let's
and
get it right.
Alulutho Tshakweni either side of Aungier van der Merwe. Relatively fearsome force, but this front row is packed with experience. Oh my word. Possession and territory, James Tracy, what do you make of that? I mean, certainly the Bulls have come to play, but that is monstrous numbers.
Yeah, it's been a dominant performance from the start, and I think Connacht just need to get a few positive moments, whether on both sides of the ball. Even if just pin the Bulls back here and start putting a bit of pressure on them, because they've been just clinging on so far.
Graham Murphy, just a little tap on Jansen, asks for the ball to be passed out towards him. And handling error means that David Kriel has the opportunity to pick it up and go. Gumede looking to protect the ball, might pick it up and go himself. Looks to go around the outside of Conor Oliver.
Advantage offside.
Advantage being played as Marcell Coetzee makes another break. Papier, Willy Leroux goes to the boot again. It's Aungier van der Merwe who's playing out on the wing. It's picked up nicely by Piers O'Conor, but the whistle sounds and we come back for the advantage that was being played
ball wasn't out.
for the Bulls.
Understand.
Piers O'Conor, as I mentioned in
offside.
studio, one of the handful of players, one of only 6 players who's played every minute of this URC campaign so far.
Marcell Coetzee carry there is a
lads?
perfect example where Connacht really just need to start. They just need to start manning up and putting shots in. He had 3 attempts that were kind of arm tackles. No one's getting the foot in close and getting a shoulder on him. He is a big abrasive ball carrier. He's also a talisman for them. You need to be putting big shots on him. But it's going to be a tough day for them if they don't start turning this around in defence.
Try. Yeah, just keep the space.
Looking to pick
Bulls,
out
how many? Six,
his winger.
man, 6 goals.
Winger Aungier van der Merwe. Johan Goosen back after breaking his nose against the eventual champions, the Sharks, in the Currie Cup back in September.
In the air, the 15.
Perfect kicking display in the Currie Cup for Johan Goosen, so they'd be delighted to have a player back who was Golden Boot winner in the URC a couple of seasons ago.
That's the first one I've been lost.
He had a bit of a strange career, Johan Goosen, over the years. Retired from rugby after only a handful of years played. Went into the corporate world for a short amount of time. He decided rugby was
Lads, keep the space.
definitely the better option. Returned to rugby and has cemented his place in the Bulls lineup after spending much of his time playing abroad. But
step off the 5. How many? Yeah. How many?
Recently he's
7
reflected
man.
on his time away from the game and spoken about what a difficult decision it was to make, and one that he feels was wrong upon reflection. Obviously taken this time by Van Heerde towards the front of the line out. Van der Merwe in possession. To hold the vine.
5 off the ball. Thank you.
Niall Murray being warned to get off the ball. It's taken by Forster, but he's hit very hard. Big combination tackle. Oliver helping drive him back. Heffernan and Oliver getting in a really good shot. Bulls keep it alive. Papier looks for options, goes the way of Tshakweni.
On the chest.
He's caught, this time by Murray. Done nicely. A little slippery.
You're off your feet.
Slightly wet conditions, a few drops of rain about. Not as much wind as the Bulls were expecting, but certainly some wind to speak of. It's here. Inside the Connacht 22. Papier again looking for the second try are the visiting Bulls side. Papier working the phases here are the Bulls. Wiese takes it forward, the 27-year-old. Now a little break on.
Onside.
Another option. They're going to the big men now. François Klopper looks to gain a few yards. Gumede brought down again by Murray. He's putting in some really good changes. Darragh on the bench for today's tie has started a few fixtures for his Connacht side this season, and Papier with a handling error. Well, that's a rather fortunate escape after a genuine period of pressure by the Bulls. A handling error that releases the pressure valve for Connacht.
All started from a really good maul defence. They gave the Bulls the front attacked the back corner, managed to get them all down. And there was that moment that we were looking for from Oliver and from Heffernan, that first big hit, and it just changed the whole mentality of the Connacht players, and all of a sudden they were energised, and we started seeing them put a few more shots in. Hopefully that's a catalyst then for them now to start defending as they should be.
I think you're right. Murray put in 3 tackles in that passage of play.
Okay, Bill's good to go. 25, you good?
Certainly very impressive, but you're right.
Connacht,
that combination with Heffernan and Oliver was very impressive.
Time on.
This is an abrasive Bulls side. They enjoy the physicality. Not to say that a few from the Connacht side don't absolutely relish the physicality. New Zealander, Jansen, starting at 8 for Connacht today.
Okay, last comer's better.
Bring
Keep
on the
space.
physicality. One of his
Keep working on your binds, nice and long and high. Make it nice and easy for both.
So-called mantras. Two in the front row for Connacht. Over a couple of hundred appearances in professional rugby. Plenty of experience in this front row. And Joyce brings so much to the second row as well. The captain's armband in the absence of Prendergast, who's on international duty. And just getting to know each other a little better.
Listen.
Some front row action. The kind that we want to be talking about too often on the pitch.
Yeah. Number 1, I felt
being dragged back by Coetzee.
Just here.
Yeah, lads, just make sure in the whistle really impressive by Carty.
Don't push after the whistle.
32-year-old Connacht's record point scorer.
I don't want a conversation about this. I'm just telling you what I see, and I spoke to them as well. I'm just telling you, don't push after the whistle. Keep the space.
Often keeps a level head, does Mike Adamson. Early indications are he might need to. So Bulls lead. Really try. Sebastian de Klerk out on the wing after being set up by Ambrose Papier, converted by Johan Goes, and sees the visitors up by 7 in the early minutes. In addition to the scoreline over the last dozen or so. Again, looking for the carry up towards the halfway line. Papier just going over the top. Doesn't bounce kindly for the Bulls, but it's nicely picked up by Jennings, who looks to make a few metres. A little scramble to his feet, but good recovery.
Hold in front
towards Carty.
Hold wait to be played on.
To keep it low on the wind, and it's very nicely taken. All things considered by the left winger de Klerk, who lays it off to Denis Leroux.
Onside now.
Showing some of his football skills as well.
Retreat, Bulls! Thank you.
Rather than risk the knock-on, Denis Leroux looks to trap the ball under his boot, and then,
Bulls
given the time, picks it up and lays it
on the half.
Out of play on the far side.
That's okay.
Interesting, the Bulls have gone down the middle twice now with the hit up off a line out, followed by kind of like a dink of a box kick down the middle, trying to get possession back. They're obviously seeing the two Connacht backfield players are obviously very wide, wider than they should be, and they're seeing like it's somewhere they can exploit.
In the 5. One stop.
This is much better. Maybe a hint of forward, but it's nicely taken by Jansen. By Forde, he'll be looking to add to his try tally. He and Ben Murphy both leading scores, 4 tries apiece through the early rounds of this United Rugby Championship. And off now to Buckley, carries it forward, protected by O'Conor. Billy Leroux happy to take the mark rather than risk
play on retreat.
Leaving that ball, even though it was very close to being out on the full. Jennings. Carty.
Okay.
Chip over the top, a little too far. Very nicely chased by Papier. Just to bring the man down. Murphy in there protecting the ball as well. Quite delighted to have him back, no doubt, returning from suspension, a 4-game suspension that he served.
Okay, use it now.
Murphy. His opposite number, Mbappé, is in possession, taking it forward through Captain Coetzee.
Tackle by this player.
Handful of players that have captained already for the Bulls this campaign, but it's Coetzee with the captain's armband this time around, taking over from Ulrich Loh last time around.
Yeah, time off.
And the penalty going against Sean Jansen here.
There's a foul play in this man's head. I'm going to allow treatment for that.
I'm just going to have a little look at this.
High tackle by green 8.
It looks like
it looks like he's got a tucked
Jansen's shoulder might have made contact with Coetzee's head.
What I want to look at is the right arm of green 8 in the action of the tackle.
Okay, I'm at the screen, Southers, thanks.
Yeah, at the screen, Mike.
Yeah, ready to go, thanks. So let green come with a tucked arm. So it's clear tucked arm, isn't it? Always high. It's kind of looking like a...
It doesn't look good if he actually catches him in the head there, as he's coming in with force, his arm tucked.
So we've got high shots.
It almost looks like there's an extension of the arm as well.
I'm looking at it as a high degree of danger if that's direct contact. So others? Direct contact to the head?
Yeah, for me it is direct contact by the elbow from green 8.
Yeah, so...
There's no attempt to wrap either.
It looks like a literal elbow to the face. You've seen the same things? Yep. So,
Agree.
Yeah. So we've got high degree of danger, elbow shot to the head, so we're in red card.
This is a massive call in the early
Mike, cameras back on you.
Of this fixture. We're a quarter of the way through the action effectively, and Connacht are going to be down to 14 players.
Mitigating those circumstances, but it's a direct elbow to the head.
Jansen saying there is no elbow there.
Even if it wasn't his elbow, he caught him with something in the head. I don't think he can have too many complaints when he watches that one back. It was just a bit reckless. You know, you like the intent from him. Connacht needed to start putting shots on, but when you're going in with your arm tucked like that, it's never going to end well.
So further disappointment for the home fans at Dexcom Stadium. Connacht need to get on the scoreboard in this fixture, and now they're down to 14 players with effectively an hour of rugby still to come.
How many? 7. 7 man. Thank you. Bulls, let me go, please.
It's a really big call from the match officials. There seems to be an agreement, David Sutherland and Mike Adamson, for their views of the incident.
4! 4 out you get, 4 out you get.
And red card the result. So, Bulls, will they take advantage? And how much will it take out of Connacht playing effectively down a player for an hour?
Well, you even see the effect of the line out there. Dave Heffernan has stepped into the back of the line out, which means they've no tail gunner. It just leaves a massive seam in between the back of the line out and the back line, especially if he has to lift and they manage to get it off the top.
Billy LaRue will carry, lays it off to Klopper. On the side of the action. Gains a few metres. Gumede caught on the spot, but still manages to drive his way forward.
Go on, players. 3! 3!
Thank you. Heavily involved in the defensive duties for this Connacht side, and handling error. This time, the Creel uncharacteristically drops the ball forward. Aungier makes its way towards Carty.
Okay, advantage is over for the knock.
Forde.
Advantage is over.
Advantage being called over. Josh Murphy has got to try this season. I'd love to add to that for this Connacht side.
Thank you. Yeah, good there. Taken back.
Well, that's a fine kick. Taken back into the 22. And a few who were watching that with a great deal of interest. Now, this change going to the red card. Paul Boyle He's made his way on for Santiago Cordero.
I felt he jumped outside.
That's 2 smashing box kicks in a row from Ben Murphy. He's really played well this season, hasn't he? He's really stormed in.
I think he's been phenomenal. Not only his try scoring, he gets a lot of credit for the try scoring that he's been putting in, but when you see the amount of work that he does behind the scenes, particularly his box kicking and his passing game,
Tell me the wrong numbers again. I'm going to free kick it.
got to give credit to Ben Murphy in the way that he's played. He's certainly stepped up. You would have got a good look at him in Leinster in years gone by initially.
Yeah, would have, yeah, and of course his dad.
Richie, yeah.
But his dad would have been with him practicing kicking and passing from a very young age. So, you know, that 10,000 hours, he's definitely got a head start on a lot of other kids out there.
Yep, son of the Ulster coach, Richie Murphy. Certainly mentored both Ben and his younger brother Jack. A little untidy here from the Bulls. Advantage being played to Connacht. Here is Murphy. Picks it up. Good crisp pass from the deck. Back to Jennings. Goes cross field, but mark called by Leroux. He finds himself as a 2-time Rugby World Cup winner, Billy Leroux. He also finds himself stuck 2 appearances short of a century for the Springboks. 98 international caps. Being politely informed by Mike Adamson that he can't take quite so many feet across the field to try to gain a better angle after claiming a mark really close to the touchline. Takes it again. This one back in field, claimed by Jennings. Oh, wonderful step from Forde. These tries this season have certainly come in really handy for this Connacht side, who, I don't want to say they've gone through momentum shifts in their matches, but in a sense it looks like they're a side that have gone through a period of momentum shifts in their respective matches.
Yeah, listen, when you're playing, the only thing that Connacht have in their favour is sometimes when you're playing against a team that has a red card, you can tend to overplay. You know, you think you should keep the ball in hand, and you don't play the percentages as much as you can. So Connacht need to hope that the Bulls kind of get lured into playing too much. But for Connacht, it's probably about kicking the ball a bit more. I think they're going to be running up dead ends, trying to play how they've played so far this season. That's going to be hard to kind of switch your game plan mid-game, but it needs most, especially when you've taken the back off. Like, they've now made the decision to keep their forward pack at 8. So maybe it's playing a 10-man game and try and play the percentages there.
I've told them, so if they give me wrong numbers again, I'll free kick. Bulls, good to go.
Tshakweni back on his feet, man who joined the Bulls earlier this year.
Let's go then.
Spells with the Southern Kings and the Cheetahs. 26-year-old from East London in South Africa.
Weight building up in the crouch, so just try and get that space.
Connacht's first 4 matches of this campaign were decided by fewer than 7 points. They lost by 2 to Munster in the opening game. That very entertaining 35-33 result. They beat the Sharks by 6 in their first fixture at home. And they edged Scarlets by 1. They lost to Ulster by 5, and then that heavy defeat by Leinster in round 5, and then the convincing win over Dragons, bonus point victory last time out to secure a top 5 place in the table through 6 rounds.
Bind.
They have had a few genuine momentum shifts. Scarlet's match was one most notable, I think. It stands top of my mind.
Use it.
Papier on the halfway line. Quisson skips one. Goes right the way to Creel, who's got a little bit of space. He's got Moody on his outside as well, but Moody unable to grab that ball. Good decision making from Jennings. Pressure on Moody as well. Creel lifted late to try to unleash Moody. The youngest ever Springbok internationals.
Bull step.
Debut as a teenager against Australia in the 2022 Rugby Championship. Scored a try as well. Only 19 in the modern era. Only François Steyn has made his debut at a younger age for the Springboks. And if you go back all the way, almost 120 odd years,
onside.
There have been
back you go, back you go. Thank you.
Over a dozen teenagers that have played for the Springboks.
Another great exit there from Connacht. Their kicking has been really good this game, and that's why I think they can go around. Like, their half-back pairing are exceptional. at putting high balls, at putting crossfield kicks, at putting those low darts. It's heaving now with rain, so they get a lovely skip off the ground as well. So I just think it'll play right into their hands if they start trying to pin the Bulls back a bit.
The wind is picking up, so to the rain. It's been a cloudy day with some patchy light rain, some drizzle, some mist spreading in from the southwest as well. But, some gusty southerly winds look to be increasing. Fondamarva looks to go towards the back. It's Gumere who takes. A lovely little breakthrough by the captain, Coetzee. He's got one to beat. Couldn't find the layoff though. Lovely tackle. Papir quickly out. Hussen, Villiers-Leroux joins the line. Creel on his outside now, looks to unleash Moody. Jennings on him again. Gujarat has come across from the opposite wing, and that's going to be a Connacht penalty off the feet.
Jackler in position, 11 off feet ceiling.
Connacht are scrambling so well. I think that's such a good testament to the character of a team, is how hard they fight for each other. Listen, they're going to have a hard day for the rest of this game off set piece, especially down at back. Especially with who they're against there. Villiers-Leroux doesn't quite execute that 3-on-2, but they just scramble really well, and they get their just deserved.
Do you want to wait?
I think one of the things that's been most impressive about Shane Jennings for me, I've always been impressed with his massive skill set, and certainly impressed with his sevens rugby over the years, and I think that certainly adds to his ability. This is maybe a little bit of a problem here for the Bulls. There's an HIA on the Bulls captain, which means Cameron Harnicombe is onto the park. And Cameron Harnicombe, he would hold his tail up undoubtedly, having made his Springbok debut against Wales last weekend in a fine victory for Springboks to end their Autumn Nations Series campaign with a 100% winning record. There he is, Cameron Harnicombe. He's been really impressive, wearing 20 today. 22-year-old from Series, a place renowned for its
HIA, HIA number 12
production. It's one of the largest producers of citrus fruits in the world, Series area. It's certainly becoming more familiar to those in the rugby world. Here is the captain, Coetzee, leading the park. He made his test debut over a dozen years ago against England in Durban, did Marcell Coetzee. So, change as well for Connacht. So a couple of head injury assessments here. One for Marcell Coetzee, the other is for Cathal Forde, joint leading try scorer this campaign. He's off, and David Hawkshaw is on, the 25-year-old. Wonderfully talented and sporting family, the Hawkshaws. David's sister Sarah, two-time Ireland Field Hockey International.
The back line's up early. Back line, not back 10.
Penalty to Connacht. And yet to score in this fixture, half an hour down. They look to be very much on the up.
The Bulls will feel a little bit hard done by there. They kind of came up on Paul Boyle, broke the 10 first, and the Bulls backline kind of followed him in, but they were the ones who got penalised for it. But listen, you got to take a rub of the green when you get it.
6 man, is it?
Off screen, Aungier has basically not let Mike Adamson get out of his sight. He's been chewing his ear off a little. He's feeling overly aggrieved at the decision. Wonderful pass from Murphy towards the back line. Boyle carrying forward, Murphy again. And Murphy, that is, charged down. Carty couldn't get that beyond the Bulls defensive line, and the penalty goes to the herd. Bulls back on his feet quickly, Ben Murphy.
If you saw what the Bulls line out there, so Connacht actually had Conor Oliver turn around at the front like the Bulls are doing with their 9, but the Bulls ignored it, so they were able to have 2 pods to create more pressure, which gives a sloppy feed back to 9, makes your launch so much harder to attack off because they're able to get air pressure. I think Connacht should probably start gambling and leaving that 9 at the front, because the moment they're marking it, and it's nothing ball to give. The Bulls were brave, and they got their reward for it.
Marva, the horizontal line out just inside the Connacht 22, and Marva goes to the front. This time it's Ruan Vermaak who takes. Marva, a little support, lost that ball, and Connacht look to claim it. Turnover for the home side. Murphy to lay that back. Joyce with a little carry. Murphy trying to create space, but he's not lifted that ball up kindly for Carty. Manages to get the pass away, and they're going to run it. Jennings. This is wonderful handling from the Connacht players. They're looking to hit on the counter-attack here. Hawkshaw back inside. Lovely control by Piers O'Conor. Murphy now breaks inside the 22 of the Vodacom Bulls. Connacht just over 10 metres out from the Bulls try line. Back towards Murphy. Maintain control. Jennings stays forward. It's a turnover to the Bulls, and Caolin Moody has a little bit of a free run here. Jennings had stayed forward. Caolin Moody's got some pace and might just take it in. Looks to put it on the boot. Caolin Moody
Committed.
hit by Shayne Bolton.
Tackle committed.
South African-born player. He was committed to the tackle, said Adamson, so nothing wrong. Thinking from Moody, didn't quite have the pace, but wonderful cover defence from Bolton.
It looked like Moody's almost carrying a hamstring injury. He didn't really look like he was going full out there, did he?
Committed.
I'm just thinking, I mean, if you had somebody like Curtly Aronson at the end of that ball, that was try 100%. It's not to say anything bad about Caolin Moody, but you're right, certainly didn't look to be running with the kind of pace that we're used to seeing from Moody, who usually plays as a centre but can play out on the wing. Is in fact his only Autumn Nation Series appearance so far this. His last international window was against Scotland, and he started on the right wing. Jennings in behind Leroux, jumps back into his 22 where he'll pick this up. Advantage over.
I suppose Moody had just chased back 100 metres, so maybe I'm being a bit harsh on him.
Okay, Bill's on the 10. Bill's on the 10.
That was a very impressive run from Connacht. The use of transition ball from the home side, so thoroughly impressive. Ran it out of their own try line. Bolton coming across, catching Moody, but as Adamson mentioned at the time, nothing wrong with the tackle. He had committed to it after Moody had put the ball on the boot. Heffernan finds his jumper in Murray. Connacht to make a few yards. Good carry by Boyle. Work here for Bolton from Pretoria, which is the Bulls' heartland and where their base is. It's been in Ireland since 2021. From Aungier. Seeking the carry. Oh, that's just pure strength, brute strength from the very abrasive Cobus Wiese. He's ripped that ball clear, and the Bulls have it back. Papir just inside his own half. Wiese. Moody, two chasing. Papir is after it. Will it bounce kindly? Picks it up, and Papir is going to be in. Doesn't jot it down, waits to put it between the posts, and Papir has his second of the season after a try against Ospreys. He's got the Bulls' second in this game and his second of the URC campaign. Just minutes before half-time, the Bulls have gone 2 scores in front. It's been over 15 minutes in the making, but they finally made that one-player advantage count.
Yeah, it's exactly where, you know, Cordero would have been on the wing, where Heffernan is doing his best to hold the edge there. a lovely pass and a little chip over the top, and to be honest, it was probably coming. They probably what they deserved. Connacht really fought their way back into the game, but for all the possession and dominance that the Bulls have had in this first half, they probably deserved 2 scores.
Was that pass forward though in the build-up? I wonder if they might just have a look at that.
Try is good. 9 is onside.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
We checked the 9, but he's not clearly offside. We think he's in line. 9's in line with the kicker.
So nothing wrong. And the try will stand. Johan Goosen.
They're committed.
In 20 seconds to convert.
He's coming at quite a pace.
Formality for somebody of Goosen's ability. The rain continues to come down, not overly heavily, but certainly not overly kind for the Bulls side that are not used to playing in the rain, but find themselves leading by 2 scores.
Yeah, we did check. It looks like 9's in line with the ball and it's kicked.
Check to see that Papir was onside. So Carty with the restart. Bulls leading by 14-0.
Get out. Onside. Can I use it? Offside. Offside at the box kick.
Offside call.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's marginal.
Yeah, there is times to push the boundaries with it, and you know, you do see a lot of them where they get away with it, but yeah, they just need to start putting a few good moments together. Connacht, you know, when you're compounding errors, the game could get away from them very quickly. Now, obviously their backs are against the wall anyway, but if they can get the next score, they have a chance.
Just at the box kicks, make sure you use your feet and not your hands. Okay.
So why Connacht have made nearly 70 tackles and the Bulls only 17 in the game? It's not because they're adept at making the tackles, it's simply because Bulls have dominated possession and territory in this fixture. We find that reflected on the scoreboard as well, leading by 2 tries to nothing. Connacht
One stop.
have played now nearly 20 minutes, down by a player after Sean Jansen's red card, just beyond the 20-minute mark.
Retreat
towards Willie Leroux. Looks for the corner flag. That's gone out on the full.
Bill's on the line.
So uncharacteristic
Bill's
error from the
on the line.
really experienced.
It's the same both ways, lads.
Fullback. There he is.
You can't complain and then not give it.
The Bulls last year.
How many?
After the Rugby World Cup.
Six.
He became a 2-time Rugby World Cup winner.
On the line.
He's in 2019 and 2023 with the Springboks. Carty. Lovely hands. Boyle with a breakthrough here. He's beaten one. Great chance for Connacht. Looking for support is Boyle, but he's going to go much of the way himself. Look for the offload towards Hawkshaw.
Shush.
Perhaps not ideal for Hawkshaw. Unable to hold on. The Bulls managed to claim the turnover and secure possession here. It'll be cleared by Leroux as the stadium clock hits 40 minutes. Leroux puts that ball out of play, and Adamson signals the end of an opening half that has yielded 2 tries. The first try scored just beyond the 5-minute mark by Sebastian de Klerk out on the wing after a lovely little break from Emrose Papir. Papir then inside the last 5 minutes of the opening half found the Bulls' second try of the game, and courtesy of successive conversions by Goosen, they lead away from home against Connacht 14-0 at half-time. Seeking another victory. Their only loss this URC campaign came by 1 point against Scarlets when they had a late red card in the game that was later overturned and later rescinded. They lost 23-22 to Scarlets away from home. Other than that, after having their round 1 fixture against the Stormers postponed, the Bulls edged Edinburgh, they trounced Ulster, they eased past Ospreys to begin their URC campaign with those wins before the loss to Scarlets, and then bounced back in Treviso with a win over Benetton, albeit last minute. And now seek further points away from home.
Good to go.
In Galway.
Good to go.
Following the resumption of the United Rugby Championship, following the international window. A couple of European fixtures to come over the following weekends as Johan Goosen gets the second half underway for the Vodacom Bulls, who turn out in white, Connacht in green. James Tracy, the former Ireland and Leinster hooker, alongside.
Okay, Connor,
just briefly,
on the edge.
What did you make of the opening half?
Well, they didn't start particularly strong around their contacts, and if anything, the Bulls will be disappointed with the amount of possession, territory, dominance that they were having even around the carry, to only be 14 points up, especially with half of that half played against 14 men. So for Connacht, you're trying to galvanise yourself in the sheds, but like, okay, we've clung in there. We haven't really played yet. So let's try, eke out a win here. Stick together. Let's fight for each other through this game. And imagine the story if we can't get it done.
Well, that's wonderfully innovative.
Problems getting pictures over from Galway. We did spend a bit of the build-up talking about the very difficult conditions to play in. We didn't, of course, talk about the very difficult conditions for broadcasting. The wind and the rain that howls in makes that very, very tricky. What we will do is look at some of the highlights that we didn't get to discuss at halftime from that pretty intriguing first half. As you know, the Bulls have got in 14 points up, but Connacht really should have been a bit closer. Craig, they've done well since they've been down to 14 men.
Yeah, they've looked more dangerous since they've had 14 men. It was just a chance gone a begging here. It was an initial nice break. I just think they forced the offload a little bit. I think it was Paul Boyle forced the offload, and they could have maybe went into the change rooms at half time with some points on the board, because it's disappointing that they're still to nil. I think they've made 68 tackles in that first half to the Bulls 17, and against a big Bulls side like this, a big South African side, it's very energy sapping. It's draining to be constantly making tackle after tackle on these big men, and they're not going to have much left in the tank to attack with. So they've really got to convert those points when they do get into the 22.
And sorry, and conversely from a Bulls side, who was that player there that turned it over? It was that Cameron Hanekom again. So him coming off the bench is making a massive impact. And you still have the likes of Gerard Steenekamp, that still has to come on. All Springboks that's got to come in and be that sort of bomb squad, for a mini bomb squad for the Bulls coming in. Bulls in a very strong position. They have to control this game though. This is about that territory now, possession, and keep running, keep making Connacht make those tackles, because it is energy sapping.
I'm glad to say we have got pictures again, although we have missed a try. Let's head back over to Dwayne.
Just hold on, Jack. Jack, just hold on. Time off.
Well, thank you. Apologies for the break in transmission, but we can confirm that the Bulls have gone over for a third time, and it started Creel, who's gone over for the third Bulls try just moments after the start of the second half. Johan Goosen successful with his third conversion of the game. It's the Bulls who now lead by 3 scores. As Murray wants to wrap this up inside his own 22. Papier, not the breakdown. They've also got Gerard Steenkamp on for Alulutho Tshakweni. So Springbok off the bench, which just makes life a little tougher as well for the Connacht scrum.
Start onside. Thank you. Yes.
Gerard Steenkamp.
Good access.
Wonderful
Good
younger
contest.
Generation of props
Back off White.
who made their way into the Springbok setup in recent times. In fact, he was on a fishing trip in renowned South African fishing village, Dullstrom, fishing town, I should say. And the Springboks called him up as Oxenchair's replacement against Argentina in August last year.
Yeah, Connor just on the edge of the white.
Sorry, numbers. This Bulls side.
Sorry, numbers. 5.
So as things stand, it's the Bulls finding themselves leading by 3 tries to 0, 21 to nothing. Away from home. This is a very good result. They're well on their way. Hanekom with a carry. And Marcell Coetzee. They need to back him up. Seeking another carry. Inside, Coetzee tried the quick hands, couldn't find Leroux. The penalty will go the Wolves' way.
14.
Very quickly up on the line and a little too quickly. So
14.
Offside.
Offside.
The call against Bolton. Scored against Ulster, did Bolton. His only try of this United Rugby Championship campaign so far.
Wait to be played on. Okay.
Too quickly up on the Bulls' defensive line. Swinging into an offside position. Little slip in the damp conditions. Here takes it into the tackle. Doesn't have much in terms of support. Wiese there to help out, and Jordan goes
Leave
in.
it. Thank you.
Recycle possession.
Wait to be played on.
To Leroux, who's gone high, asking Moody to chase. That'll bounce in play.
Okay, Bulls on the edge of the white.
For Connacht.
Just on the edge of the white. How many?
Good to see him back.
5 man, 5 man.
Capricious character is Johan Coetzee. Many who absolutely love him, some who don't quite feel the same way, shall we say. He's had an interesting career. And on his day, he's phenomenal, and certainly no little doubt about his kicking ability. Murray goes in.
The ball's available, use it. Onside.
Protected. Kick for Murphy.
Good contest. Both in a position.
Great hands from Moody. Takes nicely Papier. Very good hands from Willie Leroux. Flicked back towards Coetzee. Picked up nicely by de Klerk. Scored the Bulls' first try. He's taken in the tackle. Papier looks to go out quickly. Looks to Hanekom rather looks to go through the initial tackle, and this time dropped by Gerard Steenkamp.
Advantage. White. White, you're off your feet.
Advantage play for Connacht inside Bulls territory. Can they capitalise on this? Relatively few entries into the Bulls 22. And they've been less than clinical when they have made entries, looking to get themselves on the scoreboard. Holding on, O'Connor. Murphy.
Timing's fine. Timing's fine.
Jennings very quickly back. Seeking a way through. Just inside the road half now, O'Connor. But importantly, have possession. Captain Joyce. Player of the match in his URC debut for Connacht against Ospreys a little over a year ago.
Advantage.
So much to this Connacht outfit.
That was forward. Timing a tackle. That was forward.
So that was forward. I'll come back for the penalty advantage.
Number 4.
Just back to the original knock-on advantage that Connacht used there. It's a real pet peeve of mine. If you notice the Bulls player in that ruck on the ground, slowing the ball down off his feet. And the ref just asks him politely to stop doing it, but it completely kills the play. Connacht end up 30 metres back, and there's no penalty against the infringement on the ground. But it seems to be all over the game. You get away with it. When there's an advantage, there seems to be like an unwritten rule that you can kind of get away with a bit more with slowing stuff down at rucks. And anyway,
genuine pet peeve, I can hear. A couple of moments of concern here for Connacht. Both Joe Joyce and Shane Jennings being seen to by the medical team. It's Joyce. On his feet, Bristol born, former Ireland under 20. And he spent nearly a decade at Bristol Bears before making his way to Connacht last year. Well, afternoon done.
Yeah, I thought the first two were fine. The timing was fine.
Buckley.
Similar to the timing of that kick chase.
Jordan Duggan is on, makes his 50th Connacht appearance today. Great return from Illo as well, back from injury, Sam Illo. Good to see him back, he's been out since September. Makes his way into the pitch. Heffernan also.
Number 17, Jordan Duggan,
Tierney-Martin.
Illo replacing number 1, Denis Buckley, and number 2, Jack Aungier.
The change, Shamus Hurley-Langton, man from Taranaki in New Zealand. Also making his way on. He's been with Connacht now for a couple of years. His compatriot, Jansen, is watching on after his red card earlier in the fixture. This looks to be troubling. Shane Jennings doesn't seem to. This amount of time ticks on by. Usually it's an indication that it's quite serious, but Jennings, with a little nod, wants to get on with it, it seems.
Yeah, it looked like he was checking out his ribs. Sometimes you can pop cartilage, which incredibly painful, but you're able to play on with it. He's not going to be able to sleep too well tonight, but he'll be able to play the rest of the game.
Okay, that's seven.
The breathing becomes particularly uncomfortable. Taken short, but it's also taken by the opponents. Ruan Vermaak gets up quickest.
No, it's a tackle. It's a tackle. No, step back foot.
Claims the ball in the line-out for this Bulls side. A great line-out success this season. The Bulls have actually had the worst line-out success rate in the URC so far this campaign.
Okay, wait to be
Back
played
to
on.
Coetzee.
Okay, wingers on. Okay.
Actively on the try line, drills that ball low. Play on the far side. Just over half an hour to go in this game. Connacht yet to get on the scoreboard.
Number 7, Conor Oliver. Number 2, Heffernan.
Tierney-Martin.
5-man.
Joined the academy nearly 5 years ago now. Did Tierney-Martin made his way through the academy ranks to the senior side. Murphy. To Joyce. Carty just going through the tackle. That's a lob ball out toward the man on the wing, who happens to be Josh Murphy. Well, anybody in his way is swiftly dealt with. Ambrose Papier stands little chance.
He's frustrated with himself there. Unfortunately, the touchline doesn't miss any tackles, so he's got to do a better job at fighting in field there.
So half an hour to play. Connacht yet to get on the scoreboard. Bulls 3 tries in this game. Akert van der Merwe stays on the pitch. Johan Grobbelaar is set to make his way on off the bench with Jake Whiteside. And this time it's the Bulls who lose their line out. Picked up here from Tierney-Martin. Illo looks to protect the ball. Murphy out to Carty. To spread it. Jennings who joins the line now after a little pass from Forde, who's back on the pitch. He had a good injury assessment in the opening half. This ball, though, has been turned over. Picked up on the far side by Papier. Caolin Moody kicks it forward in behind the Connacht players. Moody closing in. He's come back. And Forde with a wonderful touch finder from a very awkward position. Scrambling needed to be done here. So Connacht picked up on it, found Carty, back to Forde.
Alulutho Tshakweni.
Okay, change for
pressure
Bulls.
of Connacht.
On. 7-man full.
Really allowed the Bulls to completely assert themselves, despite the fact that they do lead by 3 tries. 2 of those have come with Connacht down to 14. So Grobbelaar is on now. Van der Merwe is off. That didn't look to be straight, and it isn't. It's an optimal start for Johan Grobbelaar, who's had a good year. Been impressive for the Bulls this year. Also made his international debut against Portugal earlier this year, then helped South Africa win the Rugby Championship as well.
Some clever gamesmanship from Connacht there. You can hear on the ref mic some cross calling and causing a bit of confusion on the Bulls side of things. So they obviously have done their homework on a few of their trigger calls.
Illo packing down in the front row.
Yeah, but he's in the scrum.
A couple of replacements as well for Connacht now. Joyce is off and Darragh Murray is on. Younger brother of Niall. 23-year-old.
It has to be a long injury.
Replacement for Connacht, number 21, Caolin Blade, replacing number 9, Ben Murphy.
Caolin Blade is also on for Ben Murphy. Well, he didn't earn to his 4 tries so far this campaign.
Okay.
Really impressive. His box kicking, certainly his passing
Okay,
off the
time
deck
back
as
up.
well, largely really
There's a
good.
mark. Okay, space.
Blade looking to get involved immediately. We'll have the feed at this scrum.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Stay
The
back.
difference is scrumming on artificial turf as compared to natural grass.
Because it's like a top layer. So if your studs in any way lose traction, they're completely gone. You don't really get a second chance with it. That's what I always found. I always found it hard to catch your feet back up. You kind of had to almost stay in the same spot.
And he's found his feet very quickly. His Blade, lovely little take and run, found the gap and took it. Now Connacht deep inside Bulls territory. Jennings sidesteps one, is taken down in the second tackle. The Bulls are missing a high number of tackles in this game. Their tackle percentage rate is only in the just above 60% in this fixture.
Time is fine there.
Carty. Oh, the interception from Moody. Might he take it in this time? He was denied earlier, but he's not going to be denied here. And it's the bonus point try for the Vodacom Bulls, who go 4 scores clear of Connacht.
Try for the Bulls, scored by number 14,
Caolin Moody with his 4th try of the season. After tries against Edinburgh, Ulster and Scarlets, has now scored against Connacht as well. And a couple of tries inside the first 15 minutes of the second half as the Bulls look to lay a little more pressure. And again, it's come on transition ball. The interception from Moody. Read it perfectly. Might not be the fastest player on the pitch, and he's certainly not going to be denied from that position. Wonderful anticipation as well from the superb young talent. It's a bonus point try inside an hour. That's exactly what the Bulls would have been looking for, even if they haven't been absolutely clinical from every entry. What they have managed to do is deny Connacht again, and from another promising position.
In fairness to Connacht, they have to try force things and try and make something happen. You're 3 scores down. You're a man down.
There's some 50-50 times.
You've got nothing to lose. You can't really hold too much against Jack Carty there. He's trying to put Paul Boyle through a gap. It's just unfortunate.
Replacement Connacht, number 19, Darragh Murray, replacing number 4, Joyce.
The more you have an urgency to press forward, the more you leave yourself exposed defensively. The Bulls have taken full advantage there. Solid anticipation from Moody. He looked to find Boyle.
Yes. Yeah, no.
Bulls take it into the first
16
tackle.
coming around the side. Thank you. That's fine. Okay, use it now, please.
Inside their own 22.
Okay, he's playing onside.
Wilson. Out of play from Wilson.
Okay, that's your mark, yep. 7 called.
The line out. Taken at the front. Quickly out. Blade looks to spread it. Hawkshaw. Another little pass into the man O'Conor. He's enjoying his time at fullback as well, Piers O'Conor. Good versatile backline player. Play on is the call. Clever play as well from Connacht. They're approaching at Bulls 22. And penalty. 25 metres please. Out.
Clear release.
It's really clever play from Tierney-Martin.
Okay, time
tackle,
off.
But placed the ball.
Oh, we have to take a long time to look at it, if you're saying it. 22.
Back up, got the ball into play.
So where about? This rock here. Okay, we'll look just now and see if we can see one. Okay, Southers. Do you know which number? I've had an allegation from number green 22 for a gouge, an eye gouge, at the ruck just outside the 22 here. Can we see if there's anything clear, please?
Mike, my live and delaying action is a push to the face by 8 white after being held. But we're going to have to look closer then.
Yeah, can we just put that on the screen to see if there's...
So David Hawkshaw, the allegation of an eye gouge.
Go to the screen, Mike.
Yeah.
Says Adamson, they are going to have a look at this.
So looking at actions on green 22.
And with that initial break. And so we're going to have a look at this. Is there an eye gouge from Gumede? We're in a situation where we might see 14 playing 14.
Looks nasty enough. He does like move his hand the second time. The elbow is well down. It's like not as much about the elbow, but it's the second movement with his hand. It's reckless.
Got fingers around eye area. Are you seeing the same thing?
So Mike, what I'm seeing, Green lifts the leg, 8 pushes him away, grabbing in the nose. I'm not seeing contact with the eye.
If we're seeing fingers around the eye area, we don't need to see contact with the eye, but around the eye area.
Okay, in that case, 8 clearly has his hand around the eye area of 22.
Okay. So we're seeing 8 pushes hand with fingers around the eye area.
Correct.
So we're seeing that serious foul play, that you cannot put fingers and hand in around the eye area. Seeing that's very dangerous. You seen the same things, Johnny?
Yeah, this angle here, there you are. Yeah,
so
clearly right
in
hand in and around the eye of 22.
Well, very little mitigating from that
angle. So that's going to be a red card for white 8, fingers in the eye area.
And we are going to see 14 against 14.
Around that area. It would have been a penalty for a leg lift, but your number 8 has reacted and you cannot put the fingers around the eye area. It's going to be a red card.
Not for the first time this season, the Bulls are going to receive a red card. 2 of those red cards previously were rescinded.
Number 8.
There's not much in terms of mitigating circumstances for this call. Pilo Gumede.
I understand he's lifted your leg, but you cannot put fingers and hands in around the eye area. It's gone right in that face, around the eye area. That's the red card.
So Pilo Gumede, rare starts at 8th man for Gumede. Goes over to Hawkshaw and wants to shake the hand of the...
No, this is where the offence happened. Yeah, sorry.
The man
who...
you
have a penalty over here as well, sorry.
himself...
You want this one? Yeah. Okay, sorry.
The victim in that challenge.
That's where it happened. But you had
what we have is a second red card in this game, and it's 14 against 14.
I'm not sure how the TMO for 1 second didn't think that was a red card. I would love to put him in Dave Hawkshaw's shoes for that 5 second run in and see how he felt about it then when he's almost about to lose his eyesight.
Goes to the front and it's in snaffled by Wiese.
Use it!
Appeared.
Yes, 9!
There's not been a great deal of line-out success for either one of these sides in today's fixture.
Yeah, so that was actually a planned dummy jump. They didn't mean to go up there, but you need a bigger gap. And like the Bulls actually jumped and still managed to pick the ball off. You need a bigger gap so you're able to just throw it down your own line and get them all away.
6 man, 6 man.
Blade. It's low, but it's nicely picked up by Forde. Hawkshaw.
Falling. No foul play.
The turnover by the Bulls. Actually held on to by Creel. Seeking a way through. Don't find one here. Thought about the kick. Did Forster. Instead it's worked out towards Grobbelaar.
Shoulder.
That's on the far side. Fair tackle, said the referee.
Six.
Murphy brought him down. Klopper playing scrum half. Towards Van Heerden, the South Africa under 20 captain.
Okay, 9, use it. No, back foot. Back foot.
Papier. The box kick. Jennings takes nicely. Under the greatest amount of pressure, but brought down by Cameron Harnecombe. Hands in the end from Murray. Seeking a way through. They found a way through here. Lovely break by O'Conor. Eventually he's brought down to ground. Murray, Blade. And Hawkshaw on his outside. Had some support in the form of Boyle as well. Hurley-Langton as well. The pick up. Duggan in his 50th appearance for Connacht. Blade. Not to Forde. O'Conor.
Ran through the hole.
Lovely run by Jennings. Spotted a gap. Is brought down by Harnecombe. Again, his work rates are very impressive. Is Cameron Harnecombe. Connacht find Illo. Forde tidies up. Brought down by Harnecombe again. Blade. Tierney-Martin. O'Conor. Held by Wiese. And again. Looking through the numbers. Murphy takes it inside the Bulls 22. Blade picks it up. Illo with a little breakthrough. He's beaten the tackler. Within 5 now are Connacht. Just meters away from the try line. They're just about over. They can't quite reach it. Stoic defence from the Bulls. Purpose here for Connacht.
Use the line.
Ball being laid back. Got options. They're looking to go for the crash over, and it will be a try for Connacht. David Hawkshaw goes over. The first scores come just beyond the hour mark, but they are importantly on the scoreboard. And David Hawkshaw with his second of the season after scoring against Munster, scored against the Bulls as well.
Try for Connacht scoreboard number 22, David Hawkshaw.
I'm not going at the base of that block. Nothing clear. Yeah, just where you are.
Just having a look to see if there was a knock-on in the build-up.
Blade's had a real impact since he came on in terms of just in terms of getting the bringing something different and having a punch. That's the sort of impact you need from your game changers coming off the bench. Hawkshaw's been excellent as well. He just gives an extra layer on the attacking side of things, both with the ball in hand and with ball playing.
Forde knocks over the conversion.
Bulls 28, Connacht 7.
Find themselves up to 7. They've got plenty of work to do if they are to scramble their way back into.
We had a look, but we couldn't see any knock-on.
Even a bonus
we
point.
Looked, but we couldn't see it.
Mark Adamson just informing the Bulls that he did have a check to see whether or not there was a knock-on in the build-up to the try being scored, but ultimately no conclusive evidence. The try is awarded and stands. Bulls get play back underway. They still lead by 3 scores, 28-7. Hawkshaw, the try scorer. Mornay Smith has made his way on for François Klopper. The Victoria Brigade, man who...
Okay, let it come!
Started his Blue Bulls career back in 2018.
Let him go, onside.
What was most impressive about Mornay Smith is the fact that he'd only played 4 first-class matches before he started playing for the Bulls franchise directly.
Yeah, ball's live.
Absolutely shot to prominence.
Okay. You have the option,
Connor. Bring that ball down cleanly.
Yeah, line out called. Line out called, Johnny.
The pressure from Bolton, who just held off.
Bulls on the line,
contact.
please. How many?
Good enough to disrupt Leroux.
5. 6 man.
I'm surprised Connacht didn't go for the scrum there with a man advantage in the forwards.
Moving cleanly in the line out this time. Barging run. Hawkshaw looks to his impressive performance so far already. Jennings out wide, taken down by Apua Janchi, who's another player on for the Bulls.
No! Release! No!
13 international appearances for Apua Janchi. The Springboks, all of those 13 caps came in the space of 6 months. Back in 2018. Blade. Decision making has been nothing short of peerless. Really quick hands as well.
Don't shout, don't swear.
This one there.
I didn't see it.
The kind of contestable kick he would have liked. Leroux dropped it, but he knocked it back.
Advantage.
Jennings. There's a little bit of space. Moody's there, so too is Leroux. Southern Ponce has also made his way onto the park for the Bulls. Former Sevens player of the year as well. Caolin Moody. How did he lose possession there? Ball just slipped out of his grasp as he looked for the long pass, it seems.
Onside.
Pick up and carry.
Knock on. Okay. Okay, thank you. So we've got a knock on.
Hurley-Langton and Boyle looking to find a way forward for Connacht after the uncharacteristic turnover here from Moody.
So there is head contact, but the tackler is in a position to make a legal tackle. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Just having a look at another incident here are the match officials. That is almost inexplicable for a player of Moody's ability, particularly after that wonderful pickup and spin on his tackler.
So the team was looked at it, and the tackler's in a position to make a legal tackle.
The ball must be a lot greasier than we realised. It was teamed down. You can see it clearly. You can't really see it now, but it stays on the plastic grass. So that seems to be the only explanation for something like that happening to a player of his quality.
It's inside Connacht half.
Well, those are some very impressive statistics for Caolin Moody. And far from his most impressive performance for the Bulls, 131 metres. One try. 5 big carries as well for the Bulls.
Connacht should be trying to keep it in here. This is an area where they actually have an advantage now. So if you want to get back in the game, you got to get scrum penalties. That'll get you up the field.
Set. Okay, you keep your shoulders up and that elbow up. Don't hit down. Hit straight. You keep your shoulders up.
Mornings in the front row. Duggan just being spoken to by referee Adamson. Now making his 50th appearance for Connacht, the 26-year-old from Newbridge and Kildare.
Hit it up. Keep it up. Crouch.
I actually coached him at under 15s. He's a good kid. I'm not surprised he's gone on to be the player that he is.
You're from Kildare, aren't you? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just suddenly struck me as I mentioned that, and you mentioned
also Newbridge College.
Hawkshaw started something. Connacht looking to capitalise on the wonderful platform laid. Boyle forward again. Blade quickly back. Passing game is on. Hawkshaw getting involved. Now forward. Now wider. Replacement hooker is making the run in Tierney-Martin out towards Bolton on the wing.
Go, back you go, back you go.
Former centre, but he does play on the wing, often plays on the left wing, starting on the right wing today. Bolton again with a pick up and go. The ball was out, brought down by Smith. Blade finding Murphy. He's been wonderfully aggressive in all the right ways against the Bulls on this fixture. And Connor given the tackle. We've been putting in the big challenges for the Bulls. This time it's Steenkamp who makes the tackle, and that is going to be a Bulls penalty. Further disappointment for Connacht after a promising looking entry into the Bulls 22.
Okay, there's your mark.
Didn't think he had found touch, but the assistant referee has got his flag raised. Jennings has to clip the line.
Yeah, on the line, yeah.
Illo being brought down in the tackle. The Krill stayed on his feet.
Okay, time off. There's a player injured here. Time's off.
The South African sides 1 to 15 are so good at poaching the ball. Is it something that it's in the schools and club game is big because it doesn't seem to matter what number is on their
just
back?
for these guys,
Yeah, it's something that is instilled in the players literally from school days. And bear in mind, it's been done for the longest time at school level. Jake White, for example, was high school coach at Jeppe High School for Boys, one of the more prestigious schools in Johannesburg in South Africa.
Who's captain now?
Schoolmaster in years gone by. His name with the Colts.
Yep.
Went on to become a World Cup winning coach in 2007. Jake White. For a year in which he received a great deal of...
Who's captain now, lads?
So vitriolic...
Caolin, everything
particularly after the 49-0 defeat by Australia, the Springboks, less than a year later, he was a World Cup winning coach. The journeys,
what's the line out? 7.
So many individuals have gone through.
7 man. 7.
Pete Wilkins now at the age.
Okay, Bulls,
Jake
good to
White
go.
Was a World Cup winner, a 45-year-old in charge of this
time
Connacht
on.
side.
Seven man.
Well, under a dozen minutes now away from a 4th defeat of this URC campaign. Might have been a tricky fixture, this. I mean,
good time. 6.
Is it an awkward fixture, James, for many sides this weekend, given that it's a solitary fixture before heading into 2 rounds of the EPCR European competition after a significant international break?
Yeah, there's 2 sides. You know, it's going to be a mix of a team that mightn't have as many reps together, but you know, it's an opportunity for these guys to make a claim for that jersey before the internationals come back, and that's kind of the story that they'll be sold to them anyway. And you're in the shop window, so there's a lot of motivation for these guys to put in a big performance and put a stamp down for themselves.
So the South Africans have the bulk of their Springboks back. A few are being rested. Connacht and Starting being rested. Ruan Vermaak out with injury as well. And it's going to be a handling error. Forde it was. In a sense, might have been good news for the Bulls on that point, though, given that Ireland and Australia played earlier today. Connacht without some vital players coming into this round.
Okay, there's a mark.
So 10 minutes to play. The home side trail by 3 scores. Bonus point try for the Bulls already. 2 tries in either half. There's Pete Wilkins in charge of this Connacht outfit, who was on the coaching staff at North Edinburgh and Queensland Reds. Previously also involved in the Ireland setup. Becoming head coach at Connacht.
Bind! Set! Elbow down, loose
another
head.
Penalty.
Loose head.
Directly from the scrum for the Bulls. It's something they've been rather adept at so far this campaign. Connacht don't win too many penalties on their own scrum, but the Bulls have got not only a reputation, but a very good record in winning penalties from their own scrum. Mark Adamson, quick to call.
Yeah, the tough one is a loose head. Jordan Duggan can't really do too much there when the tight head's going in at that much of an angle and it's falling in and down. You know, it's a 50-50 really against you, and you're going to feel pretty hard done by if you're Jordan Duggan there.
Taken by Vermaak.
One stop, going back. Right foot. Use it.
Papier. A spinning run by Creel. So looks to barge his way through, but he's held on to for dear life. And the Connacht duo looking to defend. Ball's inside the Connacht 22. Papier.
Lads, let it go.
Switches the angle, goes towards Leroux. Little pop pass out towards Moody. Doesn't go in for the tackle. Avoids the contact at least initially. Laterally before being brought down. Papier in possession.
Tackle, let it go. come.
Murray holds on.
You're pinning him in, let it come. Your players are lying on top of him.
Still alive for the Bulls. Papier. With a little grubber kick through. Jennings is wise to the danger. And turnover complete. Can they hold on to possession onside here? Connacht to scramble into a good defensive position really quickly.
Onside.
Blade. Back to Forde.
Wingers onside.
And he's launched this one. So just outside their own 22, Connacht.
Connacht on the 22, on the line. Thank you.
The Bulls controlling this game in the right areas. It's they've really kind of handled it from a tactical point of view quite well in this half.
Are you okay?
Especially when they lost a man themselves. It could have got a bit frantic and started panicking, but they played all the rugby in all the right areas. And Connacht are just constantly exiting and been forced. And they're forcing errors and slice kicks, and the Bulls can just keep applying pressure.
Okay, six man. Time on.
Change for the Bulls here in the closing minutes. Keegan Johannes makes his way on for Papier.
You've called a 6 man and you've got 7 in. I've warned you twice in the first half. You've called the wrong numbers. That's your third time.
Referee Mike Adamson.
Your third time calling the wrong numbers.
Is not wrong. He did warn the Bulls a couple of times in the first half by calling the wrong numbers. They called 6 and then proceeded to present 7 players at the line out. So free kick goes the way of Connacht. Watch this downfield. Moody. Slip on the official surface. Jonas Kirsten is on as well. See him back and playing is Jonas Kirsten, who celebrates his 31st birthday tomorrow. He's genuinely had an injury-ravaged last couple of years, and he has put in a few performances that have impressed, most notably scoring the Bulls' first try of this campaign. And he jotted down against Edinburgh in the early minutes of that fixture. Jennings, meanwhile, turns it over to O'Conor, and Blade is going to be the man to chase down. He's nearly chased down by Ruan Vermaak, but Blade goes over for his second try of the campaign in successive URC matches as well, having scored against Dragons. It's got Connacht second of this half and second of the game, and it's a just reward for a man who's had a massive impact on the second half. Jennings with a great break, popped inside by O'Conor, and Blade was away. If the conversion goes over, there's still time, even if they don't go on to win this, to seek a losing bonus point.
Yeah, and all from giving the wrong numbers to the line out. You know, the attention to detail. Marcell Coetzee was a master at that. You ever played against Saracens or England, you counted with your eyes, not with your ears. You never listen to what he said, because he would always give you the wrong numbers.
Excellent play from Connacht.
All stewards to end of match positions. All stewards to end of match positions.
Impressive again from...
We looked at the pass, it was fine.
The Galway man. Playing now for over a decade. His debut against Ospreys in 2014. International as well. Played in that 71-10 win over the United States in July 2021.
Yeah, line's good, yeah. On the line.
In his 150th league appearance for Connacht. Leads with a try. Just minutes remaining.
I can't look at them if you're coming shouting, closing the gap. On the line.
Rubler looks to go deep. Snatched by Connacht. On the halfway line, Hawkshaw, O'Conor. Taken by TNT. A bit of a juggle, but eventually held on to by Illo. Jennings now. Back inside the Bulls half.
Santiago Bulls! Leon.
Space opening up for Hawkshaw. O'Conor, not to Bolton. Just take his way beyond the replacements. Jansen and Hans. Wilson getting involved as well with the defensive duties. Connacht has got 3 minutes to find a try that could potentially lead to a losing bonus point, or if something miraculous happens, a chance to even scramble a draw. They have been utterly dominant against South African sides at Dexcom Stadium over the years. Have Connacht dominated the Sharks. They had a victory earlier this campaign, and their only previous visit to Galway. The Bulls lost by a relatively heavy margin as well back in 2021. Ultimately, though, it's the home side that has traditionally won this fixture between these two teams. Seemingly not set to be the case today.
There's 2 knock-ons. If I'm clearly wrong,
Pity for Connacht there, not been able to capitalise on a great steal. They finally ignored the scrum half of the front. Jordan Duggan rolled the dice, turned around, which added an extra lifter, and Connacht were able to get more aerial pressure, got the line-out steal, but unfortunately couldn't capitalise. How many times have we seen them in that middle pod? I don't know whether it's the timing of their runs, or they've had like 3 or 4 drops in those 2 forwards run hard lines in midfield. So whether it's spacing, timing, there's something anyway that's just been a little bit off today, and every time they get a bit of momentum in the game, it just gets killed by a knock-on.
I did check because there's 2 knock-ons.
Set up is Connacht still in with a chance of escaping with something from this fixture. There's Papier, who's player of the match for today's fixture. Set up the first try, scored the second try for the Bulls.
The picture here was your loose head.
Played 70-odd minutes of this game, and a smile shared between Anker van der Merwe and Imros Papier, both enjoying their time. Bulls, after this, they find themselves beginning their European Rugby Champions Cup group stages away to Saracens in England next Saturday, before they host Northampton in the following weekend. They do return to URC action when they visit the Sharks in round 8 on December the 21st. Connacht have got Zebra in the EPCR Challenge Cup next weekend, and then they visit French side Perpignan the weekend after, but return to URC action away to Leinster on December 21st, and then have round 9 fixture against Ulster a week later.
Break foot on, elbow up.
Bolton does not want to
hit
leave.
Down, hit nice and square. Don't hit down, hit square.
2 minutes to play. Bolton is being ushered off by the medical staff. And this has been
Crouch.
a fixture with plenty talking points, not least of which were the 2 red cards. A red card for Sean Jansen for Connacht in the opening half, Bilo Gumede.
Just wait, retreat, stop
For the
here.
Bulls in the second half, it's 14 against 14. Bulls, though, with 2 tries in either half, and Connacht 2 tries in this half, which have not only seen them on the scoreboard, but within a try of claiming a losing bonus point if they can somehow get this ball over the Bulls' try line again.
Yeah, no.
Still something to play for.
Needs to stay on his feet more.
Keegan Johannes moves that ball in towards Van Heerden.
Back feet, let him go.
He's been playing the game since he was 5 years old. Van Heerden loves the physicality of it, aiming to follow in the footsteps of some of the great locks over the years that have been produced by the Bulls, most notably the likes of Bucky Spoorter and Victor Matfield, who are among his heroes. Blade taken forward by Murphy, approaching his 30th birthday. And that'll be a Connacht penalty. Just over 30 seconds remaining. Forde wants it, and wants it quickly as well. There's genuinely an urgency about this Connacht side. They recognise what's on the line here. James, regardless of whether or not the try comes for Connacht here, what have you made of the 80 minutes of rugby effectively?
I think they'd be very proud of the second half. you just can't give a team like the Bulls a 14-point head start before you can't even get into the game, and then you pick up a red card and you're just fighting an uphill battle. They obviously didn't start the second half very well, but I feel like they've really grown into the game since then, and at least they have something to build on, a lot of positive to build on there.
The Bulls certainly find themselves moving in the right direction on the table, comfortably cemented in the top 3. That's exactly where they want to be, plus their game down, having had their first fixture of the campaign postponed. The Currie Cup was on in South Africa. The round 1 fixture against Stormers will be replayed early next year. Connacht seeking that try that'll give them a losing bonus point if they can successfully convert as well. They're pushing for it here. Blade again swings it out wide, taken in by O'Conor. Hit nicely. Blade is there again, looks to switch the angle, changes it up, sends Hurley-Langton forward. He goes into the tackle. Blade, Illo. On his return from injury, driven back. Running the phases here, advantage being played to Connacht. We're well after the 80 minutes is up. Connacht playing with a great urgency. They got the clinical finish to come as well. It's going out towards Hurley-Langton, who's broken through the initial tackle, hit by Billy Leroux. They're just over 10 metres out now. Blade again, finds Murphy, caught by Jan Grobbelaar. Again out to Forde. He finds Tierney-Martin, takes it forward, but they haven't gained overall. Blade again, finds Duggan. Tucks the ball, tucks his head. Murphy looks for the looping pass in towards Forde. He's brought down by Hanekom. Some defence from this Bulls side who need to be disciplined here if they are to not concede and indeed keep Connacht at bay. Connacht continue to press. Wonderful building through the phases. Blade goes short side. Hurley-Langton seeking a gap. Jennings there to protect the ball, and that'll be a penalty after the advantage that was played, and no advantage accruing for Connacht. Going to go for the corner. Forde with ball in hand. Galway man. Actually scored his very first URC tries against the South African side in the Sharks. A couple of tries back in January last year. A roar of disappointment though from those at the venue.
Forwards won't be thanking them for that kick to touch.
Yeah,
They might as well have tapped and gone.
They want to be 5 metres out, not near the 22-metre line. Tierney-Martin looks for his man. A bit of a juggle again, this time from Murray, but Connacht importantly maintain possession here. Bulls look to turn it over. Johannes Kirsten is getting involved, and they manage to win it back. Vermaak lays it into the path of Johannes, who puts the ball out of play. It's disappointment and a disconsolate Connacht side after much promise in the closing minutes of this tie, who don't find a third try and ultimately a losing bonus point. It's the Bulls, though, who have romped their way to a victory. It's a match that will not be remembered for its discipline, though. The couple of yellow cards, Jansen for Connacht and Gumede for the Vodacom Bulls, that finished 14 against 14. But Connacht, having found 2 tries in the second half, much improved performance, and Blade really added much momentum and innovation and industry to this lineup. Johan Goosen, his first URC game back for the Bulls this campaign. 4